For events, the championship chase is wide open. Only 30 points separate the top 6 riders. So far, the powerful Honda team has the upper hand, but it's a whole new race when the gate drops tonight. Supercross 91, the ultimate challenge, is next. Supertrack presents Supercross 91, the ultimate challenge. Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, California, is the site of the Coors Light Challenge Round 5 of the Camel Supercross Series. On hand, thousands of enthusiastic fans looking for the handlebar banging action that has been the story of the series since the opening round. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Myers, and welcome to Supercross 91, the ultimate challenge. With me to help bring you all the exciting action from Jack Murphy Stadium here in San Diego, former national motocross champion and a man that has won his share of Supercross races, Marty Smith. And Marty, we look out over the field here and the riders today. The atmosphere and conditions in racing have changed just tremendously since you were doing all your winning.
Well, you know, Larry, when I was doing my racing, it was a fun deal. Guys had fun doing the sport. Now, each rider is highly tuned as their motorcycle. It's a serious profession out there, Larry.
Serious indeed, and we have some serious racing coming up. It's been that way all season. I'm looking forward to working with you, Marty. Now, Marty and I are high above Jack Murphy Stadium, and we'll bring you the action from our vantage point, while trackside and in the pits, Wendy Walsh will keep us up to date. Wendy?
That's right, Larry. I'm on the inside track, bringing you first-hand information on all the point-standing leaders in Supercross. Now, before the racing action begins, I want to bring to your attention our top 3 point-standing leaders. Jean-Michel Bale is way out in front. Jeff Stanton is close on his tail, and Damon Bradshaw is fighting to get out of 3rd place. But right now, back to you, Larry.
We'll be back with more right after this.
Welcome back to Supercross 91, the ultimate challenge. As you can see, the 125 riders are lined up at the starting gate behind me. Larry, last week, the 125 was certainly an action-packed event.
Indeed it was, Wendy, and that's what we have come to expect from this 125 class. Watch this action. Jeff Emming, he's been the leader throughout the biggest share of this race, but Jeremy Mcgrath, the Peak Honda Annie for his team, took his measure with a little bump and run tactic, and then look at Mcgrath. He looks over at Jeff Emming, and here it is again in super slow motion from a different angle. And watch Mcgrath, he'll look over like, what are you doing in my way? And Emming was just minding his own business. Here's how they look in the 125 Western class. Mcgrath is on top, followed by Lamson, Bolin, Michael Craig, and Jimmy Gaddis. Here's a look at the track both the 125 and 250 classes will be running on tonight. It's extremely tough built into the floor of this San Diego Stadium. It's full of all kinds of obstacles. There are left-handers, right-handers, hairpin turns, high-speed straightaways, stutter bumps, jumps that will propel riders in excess of 70 feet in the air. Both the 125 and 250 classes use the same track. The 125s ride 15 laps, the 250s 20 laps in their respective main event. On the line, the 125 class. One of the most exciting times in all of motorsports, a Supercross start. 22 riders on the line. They're going to go into a corner where it's room for, what, about 8? And boy, it gets touchy down there. Here we go. Gate is down, and the 125 main is underway from Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Out front, a whole passel of riders and some trouble. Some trouble as one of the Kawasaki riders shot off the side of the racetrack. But I think Jimmy Button, meanwhile, has taken the lead in this one. He's followed closely by Jeff Emming, number 18. And there goes Emming. Can Emming make the pass? He's got a good inside line. Can he hold it? Button's in front. Emming goes to the inside. No! Emming did do it. And Michael Craig, number 86, just railed around that sweeping corner. And Marty, he put himself right into contention. Now look at him. Look at Craig as he changes lines through the whoop-de-doos.
Larry, this is Mike's hometown. He's out to prove a point tonight. And look at Jeremy Mcgrath. He's got a terrible start. He's back in about 8th or 9th position, Larry. He's our points leader coming into this event.
Wow, Marty, as I count him off, he was in 12th place. Steve Lamson is up there in a little bit better shape. It looks like he's about 3rd, so the Pro Circuit team is well represented. But out front, Kawasaki doing all the representing as Michael Craig cow just bowled his way past the rest of the field to take the win, or I should say the lead in this one. Now moving into second, Steve Lamson. Marty, of interest in this one is that Lamson, next to Mcgrath, has been the second most dominant rider. Can he catch Craig?
Right now, I think the advantage got to be in Craig's lap because this is his hometown. He wants to prove to his friends and his family that he's a tough man to beat.
Does that mean something on the racetrack? Does that give you a little bit of extra drive, Marty?
It gives him a little extra drive, Larry. You'll be able to see right now he's got a bike that's not quite as fast as those peak Hondas, but he's making up the difference with his ability.
Michael Craig comes out of nearby, just a suburb of San Diego, if you will, El Cajon, California, aboard the Kawasaki. Now back to the number 4 position, I believe. We're looking at number 18, Jeff Emig. He was the one-time leader, and he dropped off the pace quickly. In the number 5 spot, number 48, Jimmy Button. Button took the whole shot and promptly moved back to 5th. But out front, it's all Michael Craig at this particular time. Supercross 91, the ultimate challenge, continues right after this.
Motorcycle manufacture and technology have been astounding. I'm here with Marty Smith with one of the bikes that you rode during your career. It is a vintage 1975 Suzuki 125cc. It's a lot different from the modern one, isn't it?
Lot different. Right here, the big difference is the front fork. 6 inches travel compared to about 12 inches of travel. You have 2 shocks with no link system. Right here we have a single shock with a special link system under here. This is air-cooled. You have just fins and air rolls through here to keep it cool. Whereas on the 91, you have a radiator. Goes through a line and into a pump and into the top end of the motor, which keeps it cool at all times. Brakes on the bike, when I used to race, were all drum with a cable. Nowadays, they have a disc down here, and they have their master cylinder up here, all hydraulic. We've got a spring-loaded foot peg with a lot of traction right here so the foot doesn't slip off. And right here, we have a foot peg with no spring in it at all.
So, in summary, what are the differences between the two bikes?
The major differences are the suspension, 6 inches to 12 inches.
Right.
Number 2 would be air-cooled to water-cooled. Number 3 would be drum brakes to disc brakes.
Marty, if we had enough time, I'd tell you how we used to do it in the real old days. That's when we only had a couple of inches of suspension instead of that modern bike that you rode where you had 6. Back to race action. We're in San Diego, California, Jack Murphy Stadium. A great 125 main event. There's our leader, Michael Craig, running in number 2 position. It's Lamson, Emig 3rd. Here's the man on the move, Jeremy.
Jeremy is just riding like a man possessed right now. Look at him. He's on the pegs. He's diving on the inside. He's really hounding Emig right now, and this is going to show if Emig can handle this pressure or not.
Well, we're looking at 9 laps to go in this one. There's still plenty of time for Jeremy Mcgrath, for Jeff Emig, for Steve Lamson. And I guess on the other side of that, we're going to have to say that there's a lot of time for our leader, Michael Craig, to make some kind of mistake. He's the guy that all the pressure is on right now. Look at this battle. Look at this for 4th place. Mcgrath pulls up alongside Emig, and Emig comes right back and takes the place away from him.
Right now, Larry, Jerry knows, he sees the leader right there. He knows that he's got a chance for this win, and he's got the points lead. He doesn't want to do anything foolish right now.
Just a second ago, we had a shot of Jeremy Mcgrath as he came over the top of that jump, reaching up and tugging at something on top of his helmet. And I think we should point out that it's a roll-off system for the goggles. He pulls a little chain up there, just like a little lifeguard, and a whole new lens rolls across the front of his goggles. And I guess at 50, 60 miles an hour, that's got to be like a breath of fresh air to be able to see again, Marty.
Yeah, what do you think? You think Emig's feeling some pressure right now, Larry?
Oh, he has to be, but he's handled it beautifully. Look at this. Mcgrath is all over the track. Now he's got a good inside line, and Mcgrath is going to make the pass. Mcgrath moves into the number 3 position. Now, here's where we go with a pair of teammates. Mcgrath is going to have to move up beside his teammate, Steve Lamson. I don't think Lamson is going to move over, and I don't think that Jeremy Mcgrath wants to bump him or hit him. Emig is dropping off the pace slightly. He looks like he's slowing down. I don't know if that's just the aftermath of the aftershock.
It's conditioning, Larry. He's a little bit out of shape right now.
And Steve Lamson is going to work all over again on Mike Craig. Gets the battle for the number 1 spot. This time he has company, a Kawasaki and a pair of Hondas. Craig is doing a masterful job at keeping the Hondas at bay. Michael Craig, number 88 out front. An unbelievable ride. There goes Lamson, and Lamson moves into the number 1 position. Here goes Mcgrath. Mcgrath is following him. Mcgrath takes over second. I I don't think that Michael Craig knew what hit him. Unbelievable, Marty.
You know what? It looked like it would be a little bit of team racing here, but, you know, it's not. Right now, they just want to win. It doesn't matter who wins. They want to win. It doesn't matter.
Well, Steve Lamson has had the lead for the past couple of weeks, and each time, Jeremy Mcgrath has come along and made the pass. He's done it very cleanly. I have to think that the team orders would be, look, you guys, if you're out there in first and second and you can pass, do it. But please, no bumping, no shoving, and don't knock the other guy down. If you're a team manager right now, Mitch Payton, who is the team manager for Pro Circuit, as a matter of fact, we had Mitch on our Supercross 91, the Ultimate Challenge show just 1 week ago, and we talked to him about this team situation, and Mitch just said, boy, I cringe. You know, I just kind of pick at my nails, and I don't know what to do when the two of them are out there in front. It is really tough.
You know, I think Lamson knows that Jeremy has just a little bit of edge speed-wise on him. He's trying to do everything he can to ride smart and keep Mcgrath right where he's at, but it's going to be tough, Larry, because Mcgrath is right on his heel right now.
Well, it is. If Steve Lamson, number 29, our leader, starts to ride defensively, Marty, that's going to be a mistake. He's going to leave the door open.
Yeah, Larry, Lamson needs to ride his own race and put Mcgrath out of his mind, but the way Mcgrath is charging, that's
there he
tough.
goes. Look at that. History, kiss it goodbye. Jeremy Mcgrath goes to the inside, a beautiful motocross or supercross move, and takes over the #1 spot. He never came close to Lamson.
Larry, he's come from about 12th place to take the lead right now.
An outstanding ride on the part of this youngster, the Pro Circuit Honda team, Jeremy Mcgrath.
That's right, Larry. Mike just bobbled on the finish line turn, but he still didn't really lose any time on Lamson. He's pushing him really hard right now.
Well, we've got inside of 3 laps to go, Marty, in this one. So if he's going to make a move, he's going to have to do it in a hurry. What do you want to do? Do you want to make it now? Do you want to wait till the last lap? If you do it now, Lamson has a chance to come back.
Right now, there's no way that either one of them are going to catch Jeremy Mcgrath. He's riding too strong, too consistent, he's too smooth. Right now, Mike's got to do whatever he can to pass Steve Lamson.
Well, let's not throw Jeff Emig out of that ballgame. There goes Emig to the inside. Emig looking for running room. Not quite enough power down low, but he has visions of moving inside that winner's circle. This is the battle for the #3 position, and just ahead of them, and one of the riders involved that's involved in the battle for third is also involved in the battle for second. That, of course, is Michael Craig on that green motorcycle, a green Kawasaki, and Craig goes to the inside, tries it one more time. A little bit of bumping and shoving going on.
Yeah, Lamson just plain shut the door on him.
He did. That's what you have to do in Supercross. You just can't let the guy have that inch. If he takes it, you got to move over in front of him, and that's what Steve Lamson did.
I think this last 2 laps is going to turn into a little contact sport here, Larry.
Marty Smith riding to many victories in the 125 class in outdoor national championships, 2 national titles, as a matter of fact. Now making a living running a surf shop, Marty, and working for FMF. And my pleasure to have you up here in the broadcast booth with us today. You've run an awful lot. We sure appreciate it. You sure know a lot about these 125 bikes.
Well, you know, the changes that's happened over the years, it's just been incredible, Larry.
Here we go. We're winding it down. We don't have a long way to go in this one, and we still have a 3-way battle for the #2 position. Steve Lamson, number 29, has it. There's the man in 4th, Jeff Emig. Here's Lamson. He's in 2nd. 3rd place, the green Kawasaki, Michael Craig, and there's 4th place, number 18, Jeff Emig. So this one is boiling down. We're in the last lap. The white flag is out. Jeremy Mcgrath has already taken that. And here comes that battle. Lamson, Craig, and Emig. Now the 2 front runners there, Lamson and Craig, have opened up just a little bit on Emig.
Larry, Mcgrath is showing everybody right now why he's leading the points. He's riding flawlessly. He's making his way through the lap riders. He's waving to the crowds over the jump. He's just riding super good right now, Larry.
Well, I don't think there's any question he is the superior rider in this 125 class. And right on his heels, though, rider number 29, Steve Lamson. He's going to walk off with another 2nd place. All he has to do is keep it upright. Michael Craig gave him the best he could give and just wasn't there or in the cards today. Here's Jeremy Mcgrath. He's got a few more corners to go, and this one is going to be history. This young man is so impressive. You know, there are not enough adjectives to describe how impressive he is, Marty.
No, you can't describe it. He's just riding really smooth. It's in his conditioning that makes all the difference in the world. Conditioning
and the hours that you spend on a motorcycle, and for some riders like yourself, for Jeremy, you have a feeling, a sense about what you're doing. Here comes Mcgrath up over the top of the finish line jump. Just an outstanding race effort. Steve Lamson takes 2nd. Michael Craig, the early leader, number 88, finishes in the number 3 position. And there's Jeff Emig, who took home 4th. Well, Marty, an extremely exciting race. Let's go down to Wendy Walsh, who was with Jeremy Mcgrath, and he's got to be one happy dude.
Thanks, Larry. Jeremy, you didn't get a good start, and you took your time battling for the lead. Was that part of your strategy?
No, it wasn't, that's for sure. You know, I've been having troubles with my starts the last couple weeks now. You know, I just got to go home and work on them again, you know. Starts are the main thing in the race, and haven't been getting them.
Is this your third event win this season?
Yeah, it is.
Great. We're really proud of you. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Back to you, Larry.
The 125cc main event falls to Jeremy Mcgrath, followed by Lamson, Craig, Emig, and Lawrence. Still to come, the 250 main. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, California, and Supercross 91, the Ultimate Challenge. I'm Larry Myers, with me Marty Smith. And Marty, the 250cc class, the main event is just about to get underway. The riders are moving into the start gate. Before we get there, though, I want an opinion from you. This is your hometown. You're from San Diego. Not that that's going to make you pick any better, but who looks good?
Michell, Bale looks really good in practice. Stanton looks really strong. I'd have to go with one of those two riders, Larry.
Well, you've narrowed it down considerably. We'll have 20 on the line, and you pick two of the best. No two ways about that. Now, before the riders make it into that main event, they have to go through a heat transfer process. There are two heats, and out of the heat races, the top 4 riders will move directly to the main event. Those riders that do not make it in that top 4 will go to a pair of semifinals. Out of the semifinals, progress. Whatever it takes in order to gain that 4th and final transfer position. But now look who's coming up from the number 6 spot. That's Damon Bradshaw. You recall in the early going in heat race number 1, Bradshaw was in the number 4 position and looking like he would challenge the leaders in this one. But Bradshaw, clipping a Bale, was down on the ground. He's had to struggle now to get back into contention, fighting his way through the pack. Now, Mike Fisher has passed Larry Brooks, so Larry Brooks is running. He's rider number 230. He's running in 5th, Bradshaw 6th. Fisher is the man on the bubble, rider number 14. He's in control of that final transfer position. Now, there is one more reason for going as fast as you possibly can when you're leading a heat race. It's the Coors Light Silver Bullet Showdown. Now, the winner of the fastest heat race of the night gets a Coors Light Silver Bullet point. Throughout the season, the rider that accumulates the most fast heat races or Coors Light Silver Bullet points. And we'll get back to that in just a second as we look at Doug Dubach crawling off the track. Dubach, you recall, was running in the number 3 position all by himself. Dubach crashed, hit the ground hard, knocked the wind out of him is all. He'll be back racing a little bit later in the program. The Coors Light Silver Bullet points, the rider that accumulates the most of them throughout a season's worth of racing will be eligible for a $25,000 bonus from Coors. You can bet that's on the mind of Jeff Stanton as he heads for the checkered flag. He takes it. Let's see what Stanton had to say.
Jeff, San Diego has been very good to you. You won it here last year. What is it going to take to bring it home for Honda once again?
Just a good start, just like I just got, and be aggressive the whole way. The track's really tough. Toughest track we've had yet this year, so it's going to take a good start.
Well, it didn't you look like you had your cruise control on out there. Is that true?
Well, not really. I was trying to push it, try to get that fastest heat, but it's just going to take real aggressive riding.
Well, thank you. Back to you, Larry.
Stanton's time in heat race number 1, 8 minutes, 29.58 seconds. That's the time to beat. Stanton, Cooper, Fisher, and Brooks go to the main event. Let's take a look at heat race number 2. And again, the time they'll be shooting for that Silver Bullet Showdown. 8:29.58, recorded by Stanton in heat race number 1. In the second heat, Stanton's teammate, Michell Bale, another Honda rider, number 8, wasted no time in getting to the front. Holding down the number 2 position, a dogfight for the first few laps. Rider number 32 is Todd DeHoop from Michigan. Right behind him, Jeff Natasevich. Natasevich, rider number 7 aboard the Kawasaki. He's a factory rider, DeHoop, a privateer. Behind the front runners, still coming through the pack and sorting themselves out, rider number 4 and rider number 13. 4 is Mike Kidrowski, another rider for Team Kawasaki, and 13, of course, the winningest rider in the history of Supercross, the Magic Man, R.J. Rick Johnson. He has a passel of nicknames. He's earned every one of them. Now, heading into the heat races this evening here in San Diego, both Natasevich, rider number 7, who is currently in the number 3 position, and Jeff Stanton, who won heat race number 1, had each won a pair of Silver Bullet awards. Michell Bale, out front here in heat race number 2, is aware of that fact. He knows that if he's going to be in contention for that $25,000 prize at the end of the season, but he's going to have to start making some inroads and making them immediately as Jeff Mcgrath, moves into the number 2 position and now sets his sights on Jean-Michel Bale and another Silver Bullet Award. Todd the Hoop dropping back to 3rd. It's still Mike Kwiatkowski in 4th. Right behind Kwiatkowski comes Rick Johnson, the Magic Man. Here comes Kwiatkowski to the inside, and Kwiatkowski passes to Hoop. That'll put Kwiatkowski in the 3rd to Hoop, now holding down the final transfer position in heat race number 2. Now let's check out a hard luck rider, Jeff Ward, 2 times a champ. See what I mean? Jeff Ward's evening has been that way. Not a particularly good start. He was all alone, got his front wheel in one rut, rear wheel in another rut, and Jeff Ward, who was already trailing some kind of banner from the rear end of his motorcycle. Watch this. Here it is in slow motion. He just got a little bit sideways and stepped off the motorcycle. Not a hard crash. Probably his pride hurt more than anything. Meanwhile, out front, Jean-Michel Bale continues to shatter this racetrack. He's trying to get the fastest time that he possibly can. He's not slowed one bit. He's led since the opening lap. In fact, since the opening corner, and Bale is not about to shut off now. Bale believes that you have to run your practice sessions, you have to run your heat races as fast as you're going to ride in the main event in order to be effective. There's the checkered flag. Jean-Michel Bale takes it. His time in heat race number 2, 8 minutes, 30.09 seconds. I don't think that's as fast as Stanton. Here are the qualifiers from the second heat race. Bale, Mcgrath, Kwiatkowski, and Rick Johnson. And indeed, it was not as fast, Jean-Michel Bale's time, as that of Jeff Stanton's in the first heat race tonight. Stanton wins the Coors Light Silver Bullet Showdown with a time of 8 minutes, 29.58 seconds. And that's just about half a second faster than the time turned by Jean-Michel Bale in heat race number 2. So after 5 events, Jeff Stanton has earned 3 Coors Light Silver Bullet points. Jeff Mcgrath has 2 Coors Light Silver Bullet points. And the rider at the season's end, don't forget, $25,000 from Coors Light. The 250 main event yet to come. Jeff Mcgrath and Mike Kwiatkowski. Now, these are the point standings after the Seattle event 1 week ago. This event in 1990, looking for a repeat. Guy Cooper to the left of your screen, squares off the corner. Bang! Takes over the number 1 position. Dropped Ward back to 2nd. Ward was going to go back just a little further than that. And watch Jean-Michel Bale. He slides underneath Ward. He takes over the number 2 spot. Here's a good battle. Bradshaw and Stanton. Bradshaw number 11. The 2 of them went at it all night long. Here comes Jean-Michel Bale again. Same move, and all of a sudden, Jean-Michel Bale is our new leader. Behind Bale, still plenty of action. Bingo! Jeff Stanton almost goes down. He managed to get himself upright as Bale took the checkered flag, but that was just enough to allow Bradshaw to get by to take 2nd place, Stanton 3rd. Ward ended up 4th. That's the way it went in Seattle, but we're in San Diego, round 5 at Jack Murphy Stadium. Right now, it's all concentration on the line. The bikes are going to be dumped into gear, and pretty soon as the card goes sideways, you'll see the riders grab a handful of throttle, and they're going to rev the engines just as high as they can. And when the gate drops, they're looking for just the slightest twinge of the gate, and as soon as they see it, they're going to drop the clutch. And here goes that 30-second card, and there they are. They're revving the engines. Now they're eyeing that gate. Watch this. Watch them. There it goes. And they reacted. Doug Dubach was late getting away. We saw that in dramatic fashion. Out front, Damon Bradshaw, rider number 11. We can pick him out, but it's Jeff Stanton and Jeff Ward, the 2 veterans. Each of them with a pair of Supercross championships, leading the way here in San Diego. In 3rd place, Jean-Michel Bale. There's Bradshaw in 4th. Right behind him, Jeff Mcgrath. Then comes Mike Kwiatkowski.
Larry, all the heavies are out in front right now. There's not one heavy that's in back past 6th place. They're all up front. This is going to be an exciting race.
We've been looking for this type of a race all year long. We've not had this situation, but we've got it now. Out front, Jeff Stanton. He's the defending champ. That number plate weighs heavy on the front of that Honda. In 2nd place is Jeff Ward, another former 2-time champ. Bradshaw has gone all the way to 3rd. He passed Bale. I think he caught Bale kind of napping at the switch there. Bale's dropped to 4th. We've got Kwiatkowski and Mcgrath running back there in 5th and 6th. So you're right. The heavyweights in this one are up front. Look out. We're going to have a barn burner here in San Diego. Up over the top of the finish line jump. We've got to do that 19 more times before that checkered flag comes out. But already Stanton's starting to pull away from the field. He's opened up about a 10-15 bike length lead. Here comes Damon Bradshaw around the outside of Jeff Ward. Ward is riding much better than he did earlier today. Now, he had to come out of the last chance qualifier. And Marty, he looks like a different Jeff Ward.
Yeah, he does, you know, Larry, but he's looking behind right now. I think he's feeling some pressure right now from Damon, and that's not Jeff Ward's style.
And here comes Mr. Smooth. Michell Bale trying to get a line on the inside of Bradshaw. Bradshaw shut him out there. But look at that. Look at Bale take the inside line. He is so smooth. Incredible.
You know, there they are through those rockers. I told you earlier, Larry, those things are like 2-foot walls. They're really steep.
Well, they're off camber, too. You can't really get a good run at it. The bike is apt to pitch sideways, and that complicates matters considerably. There's Michell Bale, currently running in the number 4 position. Is he going to stay there? I think not.
No,
I'm not sure how far up he's going to move, but I don't think he'll end up fourth.
I don't think he's quite settled in yet, Larry. It's going to take him a couple laps. He knows he's got a long race. He's happy with his start. I think we'll see some movement from Michell Bale in a couple, 2 or 3 laps.
Well, there are a half dozen riders that can challenge for the lead before this one is over. Jeff Stanton way out front. There's Jeff Ward in second place. That's Damon Bradshaw in the middle there, rider number 11 aboard that white Yamaha. 3 is Jeff Ward. He's second, as we said. Bradshaw, there's Bale in fourth. And right behind Michell Bale, we'll have another Kawasaki. In fact, a pair of them. They belong to Matasevich and Kidrowski, with Kidrowski in 5th and Matasevich 6th. Well, Marty, Jeff Stanton is just rolling along, holding down that number 1 position. Now, I was curious and asked Stanton earlier if indeed he was surprised by the lack of challenges from other riders. Here's what he had to say.
I'm sure they'll come around, but I got to get stronger yet myself, so. But overall, basically, yes, I am surprised. Just Michell and myself. Team Honda's been dominating all the races, but I'm sure Damon and Matasevich and Jeff Ward and some of the other guys, they'll come around at the end of the season.
And here's Jeff Stanton. Stanton is riding extremely well. I don't say that he's got it in the bag, but I'll tell you what, the guy has really got it together.
You know, Jeff's got a bad line through those whoops. He's losing time to Stanton, and Bradshaw almost got there. Ward just went down.
Jeff Ward, that's the kind of mistake that he makes all by himself. And Marty, I've seen it so many times this year. We talked about it, that maybe he's just stretching it. He's a little over his head.
It just seems like Jeff's having a little lack of concentration problems right now, Larry.
And there's the battle again. And we're going back to a battle for the number 2 position. That's where the action is on the racetrack with Bradshaw and Michell Bale. There it is. Bale has picked up the pace slightly, and he's moved to the rear wheel of Bradshaw. If Bale wants to be a factor in this, Marty, he cannot afford. Look at that. Look at that move on the inside. Whoa, Bale is so smooth. How did he get that kind of drive from that short a line on the inside? Unbelievable.
Well, Larry, when you make a pass on Bradshaw, it's hard to make it stick. He is so determined that he'll do almost anything to pass you back on the following turn.
Almost anything? I think we could get rid of that almost. He'll do anything to get it back. No 2 ways about it. He's one of the more aggressive riders on the circuit.
Yeah, he is.
Bradshaw holding down second, Bale in third. And Bale, as I started to say, if he has aspirations of winning this one, what he needs to do is to get by Bradshaw to challenge Stanton. He can't afford to let Stanton get away. Bradshaw not having any of it.
I think Bale realizes that Bradshaw sometimes gets a little erratic. He doesn't want to be in the wrong place if Bradshaw loses control of his motorcycle.
Yeah, but at the same time, he can't afford to sit back off the pace, Marty. He has got to make a move and make it quick.
That's right. Stanton's starting to put a little time in.
There he goes. He made the move. Look at that. How smooth can you be? How in the world did he do that? Unbelievable move on the part of Michell Bale. Let's go back, Marty, and take a look at that pass that Michell Bale put on Bradshaw. What do you see?
Well, Bradshaw just lost a little concentration right there, and Bale just took advantage of it. It's real simple.
Simple indeed. He just made it look so easy. I mean, he was aiming at that point, and, you know, I don't know what to say. The guy is just unbelievable.
Larry, I think we talked about a little earlier before the night started. I put it between these two, aggressiveness against finesse, and it looks like it's going to turn out that way, Larry.
So which one will it be at the checkered flag? Finesse or aggressiveness? We'll find out. There are still several laps to go. Right now, though, it's time for Man and Machine. Here's Wendy Walsh.
Larry, every Supercross track has its own dynamics and obstacles, and it's the all-important practice rounds that allow riders to get a feeling for the pitfalls and the advantages of each particular track. Earlier today, we fitted KTM rider Mike Fisher with a tiny video camera called a lipstick. Now, with this lipstick, we were able to see his point of view during those crucial practice laps.
That's it for this week's Man of Machine. Our thanks to Mike Fisher for that roller coaster ride. And we'll be back with the exciting conclusion to the 250 main event from San Diego. Stay with us. So Bradshaw still holds on to third, but he's got his hands full as Jeff Matasevich, rider number 7 aboard that Kawasaki, is just chomping at the bit. Look at this. Bradshaw went wide. He went wide. Matasevich was ready. He pounced over the finish line jump. Jeff Matasevich is overall Bradshaw. He's taken over the number 3 position.
You know, Bradshaw sure really conserved his riding since last year. He was a little erratic. He was ending up on the ground a lot, and he wasn't finishing races. I think he's a little too conservative this year, Larry.
Well, he picked up a new mechanic, Brian Lunas, and Lunas is tuned for some of the finest riders in the history of the sport. Rick Johnson, for example. And here's another look at that pass. Watch how he does it, Marty. We'll get back to that story in a second. Bradshaw just went wide. He just went wide like he gave him the hole.
That was almost
Here
the
it
same
is from
thing.
another angle. Look at this.
Bale did the same thing at the same spot, Larry. You'd think Damon would change his line by now.
Unbelievable. I started to mention the difference in his riding style, and we're looking at Jeff Stanton, who is the leader in this one, and we'll talk a little bit later maybe about that riding style change. But right now, all eyes, everyone in the stadium is on 2 riders. Jeff Stanton out front, and this young man, rider number 8, Jean-Michel Bale, who maybe has closed the gap by 1 or 2 bike lengths.
Yeah, Larry, he's pulled about 2 seconds behind Stanton already.
Can he catch him?
I think he can catch him. He's still got a long way to go. There's a lap rider between them right now, but I think Bale is in full command right now.
Okay, here's another question. If he catches him, can he pass him?
I think there's enough room on this track to pass. There's about 3 different lines to the whoop. It's going to be a hard call, Larry, but I'm going to give it to Bale.
Interesting observation. Marty Smith goes out on a limb and says, giving this one to Bale. Bale about 7, 8 bike lengths, or maybe 10 will make that, behind Jeff Stanton, who's holding down the number 1 spot, and he has closed, no 2 ways about that. Stanton, though, has to be aware of that in the pit area. Dan Bentley, his mechanic, has been holding up the pit board, and he's telling Stanton, obviously, that Bale is closing. Look at that. Look at that line. Stanton is off the track and went down. An unbelievable mistake on the part of Jeff Stanton. Stanton went down. Now he is way behind Jean-Michel Bale.
A lap rider, Larry, I think.
Here it is. Here it is, Marty. Watch this. What happened?
A lap rider just got in his way. He broke concentration, and that's all it took.
He got high on that sweeping corner, it looked like. He's up quickly, but the damage had been done. Jean-Michel Bale out front. Jeff Stanton now in the number 2 position. Now, we're still looking at about 7 laps to go. 6, 7 laps, Marty. Stanton right now is going to shift up a gear. He's going to be a madman.
Larry,
Stanton wants his win.
He is riding really hard right now.
Look at this. Look at this. Stanton is unbelievable. He is really on the gas.
I I think Bale has knocked it down a notch. I think he thinks Stanton's out of it, but right now his mechanic's going to say, hey, Stanton's only a couple seconds behind you.
Boy, if Bale is slacking off the pace, that is a mistake because Stanton has kicked it up a notch.
Jean-Michel Bale is like he's on cruise control right now, Larry.
Well, we mentioned this championship thing, why Jean-Michel Bale, who's a two-time world champion, would give up the hundreds of thousands of dollars available to him in Europe to come into the United States and race, and he put it very well. Here's Jean-Michel Bale.
For me, he's the best championship in the world. It's all the factories in this championship, and we have a lot of support for this. And I think the best rider in this championship, so it's why I want to win.
Well, a guy that's making a point, making a statement out here tonight, rider number 8 is Jean-Michel Bale. The white flag was waving when he cleared the finish line jump. He has to do it all one more time. Next time around, we're looking at Checker City, and he will acclaim his 3rd win of this young Supercross season. Look at him. He looks behind him. A lot of confidence there. He's down to business. No showboating. He's just making the jumps and putting his wheels where he wants them to go, and this is when a rider has to feel good. Marty?
You know, I think Jean-Michel Bale's on his way to what we might call a championship victory here, you know. He's looking really good.
He indeed is looking good. And, you know, something like this could set up, because he has actually pulled away from Stanton now, something like this could set up the right mental condition to lead to a Supercross title.
That's right, Larry. And, you know, you look at Michel Bale, he's almost like he's going slow, but he's making up time on everybody.
That's the smoothness that we've talked about so many times. No wasted effort. The man just has it all under control. One more corner. He'll make that right-hand turn and head up the finish line jump. Checkered flag. And that's about as much emotion as you get out of a Frenchman. A big double bumper with that left arm. He just doesn't go in for that showboating stuff. Here comes Jeff Stanton. He'll drop 2 more points in the series, but long way to go. We're only at event number 5, an 18-event series, and Stanton only 6 points down. So Jean-Michel Bale wins his 3rd event of the season. Jeff Stanton finishes in the runner-up spot. Now, Stanton is the only other rider to have won a Supercross this year. He has won a pair. Jeff Matasevich 3rd, Mike Kidrowski 4th, Mike Fisher in the number 5 position. When we come back, we'll talk with Jean-Michel Bale. Stay tuned. On the Ultimate Challenge, Jean-Michel Bale has just wrapped up round 5 of the Camel Supercross Series, and Jean-Michel is with Wendy Walsh.
Jean-Michel, we saw here tonight that the misfortune of one champion can be the fortune of another. Could you have done it without Jeff Stanton's tumble?
I make not a good start, but I was in a very good place. I was 4th, and after Jeff Ward crashed, and Stanton crashed too, but I was very fast. So it's a very good race for me.
You are now the point leader. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was in a point leader, but now it's a little bit more big.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Larry.
Team Honda continues to dominate with Jean-Michel Bale on top, 113 points, followed by teammate Stanton. Then comes Bradshaw, Matasevich, and Kidrowski. Marty, the racing here tonight was simply tremendous.
Larry, at the beginning of the night, we knew what a tough, demanding track it was. It all proved to be one of the best racing we had all season long.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to more of the same. From here, Supercross 91, the Ultimate Challenge, moves on to Atlanta, Georgia, to Fulton County Stadium, and we'll bring you all of that action from that venue. For Marty Smith and Wendy Walsh, I'm Larry Myers. We'll see you in Atlanta next week.
Get the straight scoop on what's hot and what's not on the summer movie screens. Prime